The following is a production of Phoenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Friday, March 26th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, Captain America himself, Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, how you doing today?
Doing good, man. It is actually, Falcon Winter Soldier Day. I'm not going to get a chance to watch it before I depart. Right after this show, I got a plane to catch. I'm on my way home to Nevada for the weekend. Going to participate in a family's celebration of life tomorrow, which is a bummer, but it'll be good to share the memories of Steve Charles. Should be a good time. See some people I haven't seen in a while. And, of course, see some nice shining faces for the few days I'll be home. So looking forward to it, but supporting my Captain America stuff on this Friday.
Well, the good news is that, for the most part, you'll be staying with me. So we can still catch Falcon Winter Soldier, maybe even on Friday, the day it comes out.
There you go. Might be able to watch it later tonight. Today. So that'd be good. Yeah.
Exactly. So, well, folks, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do. With a question for my co-host. We don't talk much about religion on the show. We try to stay away from religion and politics, but when it comes to faith healing, I always kind of get a kick out of, the ways that people do it. Tony, when it comes to faith healing, what ways have you heard of or seen that people use the power of God to miraculously heal somebody?
The over-dramatic, like the one person holds the hand up and they're like, I feel the power of Jesus going through you. Feel the Lord and the love is going through you. It's going to move you. And then the lady's like, oh, yeah, speak to me. And they're all wobbly and wagging. Yeah, I thought you'd like that little reference. No, just like I've seen those weird ones where they'd use the hand and they're like, I feel it. Yay!
Oh, boy. I have been sitting on this story all week. I've been saving it for Friday, Tony. For a treat. So the congregation of a church in South Africa are claiming their pastor sits on people and farts on them as a means of healing and blessing them. You heard me right.
Did you say reverb fart?
Pastor Christ Penelope of Sevenfold Holy Spirit Ministries in Sayandani Village in Guyana. It's a mouthful. Has been accused of farting on his congregants. Photos reportedly show the pastor sitting or standing on top of people, with people claiming he breaks wind on them. However, the pastor refutes the remarks that have been circulating on social media, having simply said, according to the Daily Sun, I don't fart on people, I heal people. So he's not denying it. The outlet reports that people have been flooded to the church in the wake of the rumors, but Pastor Penelope has said the people saying all these things weren't true. They hear of things and believe them. He has argued that what he does is not by flesh, but by faith, saying that when he sits or stands on people, they do not feel any pain as the Holy Spirit is in charge. In a Facebook post, he said, this is to tell the doubters that we did not do it by mistake, and we are not repenting. We're not going to be intimidated. The body is the church, and the head is Christ. You expect me to go and sit on the church? I must come directly to the head and sit on it. Two unnamed sources from the church said many people didn't mind what was going on, but that they felt unhappy. One, a 30-year-old man, told the Daily Sun, "When we come to church, it's because we need prayers, not to be farted on. What the pastor has been doing isn't right." He called on Penelope to ask God for another way of healing people. A 40-year-old woman said she stopped attending the church, adding, "That's not what I signed on for. I need prayers, not farts." Many other pastors have condemned what Penelope has been doing, saying even if he's not farting on people, he shouldn't be sitting on them anyway.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. That church?
Oh, yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
It's a trap.
I'm out.
I don't know if it's healing anybody, but it sure as hell is giving people pink eye.
Yeah. That's stink eye.
Oh, I'm so glad.
That's a good
So
one to
glad I
save,
saved
man.
that one.
Yeah.
So glad I saved it. Well, it is Friday.
The stinky one for last.
Exactly. And we are headed into the end of the week, but not before we bring a wonderful show. We've got a great one. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
We're looking forward to the weekend, but not before we bring you good news, everyone. We have
I'm
a
looking
segment
forward to
called-
In-N-Out Burgers. What I'm looking forward to today when I
There you
land. I want some double, man. I'm hungry.
We have a segment called Mind Blown. Our call-in topic today is band that you missed seeing live. You missed out on the opportunity, and you don't have that opportunity again. Our call-in, we've got G-Man's matchups. We're talking NCAA March Madness, where it stands as of right now. We close out the day with This Day in History, and up next, Tony is here with the entertainment news. Folks, do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Behold my process. Ooh, yeah, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box. Yep, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude! Cowabunga!
To the Loot Gaming video game box.
Woohoo! Yee-hoo!
Wowzers! With crates starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors.
To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/Loot Crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIXmedia.us/Loot Crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a Loot Crate, dig it?
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving. without going overboard. So you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. And we've got a little thing that we talk about on this show, the Fenix Line. It is our 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you were healed because you were farted on. We want to know about it. Give us a call at 855 Fenix Radio. That's 855 FENIX RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now it is the second of this show. Excuse you, Tom. Speaking of Tony, Tony is here with the entertainment news.
Tone Mosby here with your Filippo Fast 5 on Friday the 26th. Texas country singer Taylor D, unfortunately, 33, passed away in a car crash. It's the second time this week I've started off the Fast 5 with a death.
Oh, bummer.
Sad. Kenny Chesney postponed the Summer Stadium tour to 2022. Originally slated for 2020, the Chillaxification tour will return under a new name and a new lineup. So all you country fans out there, gonna have to wait till next year to have no shirt, no shoes, no problem. Hawkeye Disney Plus spinoff starring Echo reportedly in the works, although I don't know who Echo is. But a character I'm sure you'll get introduced to, we'll probably have a spinoff. Meatloaf announces reality TV dating show. I do anything for love, but I won't do that. Actually sounds kind of entertaining. Warner Brothers movies won't be premiering on HBO Max in 2020 as Warner's new movies will be theatrical release exclusive starting next year. And that was it for the Fast 5. Let's get to the entertainment or lack thereof entertainment news today. Seth Rogen will play Steven Spielberg's favorite uncle. Seth Rogen is set to play the role in the director's upcoming semi-biographical Wednesday was Words Are Hard.
Right.
It's a biography film, which is loosely based on Spielberg's childhood growing up in Arizona. According to Deadline, Rogen has been tapped to play the beloved uncle of young Spielberg in the Untitled film. He joins the cast alongside Michelle Williams, who is on board to play a character inspired by Spielberg's mother. Casting is said to be underway by several of the various child roles, one of which will play the part inspired by a young storyteller. Since the story is very personal to Spielberg, the renowned filmmaker is partaking in screenwriting duties for the first time in 20 years. The last one was 2001's AI, Artificial Intelligence. Spielberg has collaborated on this new script with Tony Kushner, who has previously worked on Munich, Lincoln, and the upcoming West Side Story remake. Spielberg and Kushner also served as producers alongside Christy Makosko-Krieger, who is a frequent collaborator of Spielberg's, having started out as an associated producer of 2008's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, before going on to produce the likes of 2015's Bridge of Spies and 2017's The Post, both of which received Academy Award nominations for Best Picture. Spielberg is among the most powerful and influential people to have ever worked in Hollywood. A famed director rose to prominence in the 70s, helped invent the modern blockbuster with films like Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Indiana Jones, and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. And for the most part, he has stayed on top of the game ever since. So there you go. Upcoming semi-biographical film. I screwed that up. I don't know why I just can't say biography. Is scheduled to start this summer. It has a release of summertime 2022 and is Seth Rogen. Hello, Steven. Your take on that, my friend?
It's tough to say. These biopics, some are fantastic, others, I'll pass. And they seem to be, the big thing right now that, everybody's getting a biopic. Steven Spielberg, do I want to see his story on the screen? Yeah, maybe. I'll wait for the trailers.
I would like it if he just didn't take it seriously. Like if he just made a story, like if he told a story of young Steven that really didn't exist and just like fabricated and made it all just wild and silly.
Yeah, we'll see. You said it's semi-biographical, which they may take some liberties in the storytelling of it, but the fact that he's part of the screenwriting, it could be pretty good.
Like if I did a biography of my life, I would definitely amp up a lot of the crappy stuff. I'd be like, like I literally, like when I got cheated on, I would literally have a dude dressed up as the Grimace. It'd be funny. And he'd be like eating like Cheeseburger Eddie would hand him a cheeseburger on the way out. It'd be great. I'd like to just think of fun stuff. Here nor there, but excuse me, I'd like to ask you a few questions. As famously said by Jim Carrey's Ace Ventura. So would you be down if they brought back Ace Ventura?
Boy, that's towing the line of a sequel that's maybe too late, and especially if it is not Jim Carrey. I would say certainly not if it's not Jim Carrey, and I'll wait and see if it is.
All righty then. Well, I got news for you, Kristian. Ace Ventura is coming back. It's being developed at Amazon by Morgan Creek Entertainment. Representatives from Morgan Creek talked about the surprise sequel, saying that it hails from Paramount's Sonic the Hedgehog writers, which did work with Jim Carrey. They're excited about franchise developments with the Ace Ventura franchise. They have people talking. The only problem is they don't have Jim Carrey locked down for the role, which I agree with you. If he's not coming back, it's not going to be good. But I, for one, am not excited about this because 1994 is when Ace Ventura made his debut. It was great for the time. When Nature Calls was a fine sequel. It wasn't as good as the original. I'm with you, man. You can't take a classic franchise, let it sit dormant forever, and bring it back. Not a lot of films have success doing this. We have hope that Ghostbusters Afterlife, being big Ghostbusters fans, is going to come back and kick ass. It could absolutely suck. Who knows? Right. It doesn't look like it is. The right people are in place, but it doesn't always work. Dumb and Dumber's sequel had the Farrelly brothers, had Jeff Daniels, had Jim Carrey. On paper, you're like, dude, this is a win-win. There's no way it's going to be bad. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't even that good, to be honest with you. The problem is you wait too long. But then on the flip side, Bad Boys, they took a lot of breaks in between each sequel, and the franchise is fantastic. So it could go either way. Ace Ventura, I kind of seeing it like most comedies. You probably don't need to do it, and maybe just time to create a new original character and tell new original stories and go that way.
I agree. Look at Bill and Ted Face the Music, something that people are excited about. You had the same team coming back together to make it, and it wasn't great. But on the other hand, like you mentioned, Bad Boys 3, that was fantastic. We'll wait to see, but I don't have high hopes for it.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes either. But I had that story sitting there all week, so it was time to get it out of there. So, and there's only so much, the first is just so classic. It's hard to catch that lightning in a bottle again. So
yeah, absolutely.
Well, moving on to TV news, John Stamos, obviously Uncle Jesse, has never had a problem finding a job. That guy lands on any show. The dude always works, and he doesn't even look like he ages.
Right.
He just keeps going. Well, he's got a new show coming out, and it'll be on Disney Plus. The new trailer has dropped today for a new original series called Big Shot. It stars John Stamos as a coach named Marvin Korn, even spelt like the band Korn, Korn. Okay. The series dribbles around an all-girls elite private school basketball team and their emotional journey on and off the court. Per Disney, the official synopsis is after getting ousted by the NCAA, a hothead men's basketball coach must take a job at an all-girls high school. He soon learns that teenage girls are more than just X's and O's. They require empathy and vulnerability. Foreign concepts for stoic Coach Korn, played by John Stamos, will learn how to connect with his players. Marvin starts to grow into the person he's always hoped to be. The girl learns to take themselves more seriously, finding their footing both on and off the court. It's a 10-episode series developed by David E. Kelly, based on an original idea by Brad Garrett. Also stars Jessalyn Gilsing, Yvette Nicole Brown, Richard Robichaud, Neil Verlocke, Tiana Lee, Monique Green, Tisha Custodio, and Cricket Wamperwill. It releases April 16th. So if you're into that type of show, there you go. Disney Plus has something original. To me, it sounds like not a completely original story. It kind of sounds like Mighty Ducks, just different sport and just kind of shuffled around. But this is what I just stated with Ace Ventura. Maybe you take some of that and you just make something new out of it.
Exactly. Overall, it doesn't sound like something I'll be watching on a regular basis. But for people who are fans of those types of shows, you got some great names behind it. David Kelly, Brad Garrett, John Stamos. Yeah, could be pretty good.
Working on that.
Thanks, Siri. Well, Siri's trying to talk. I don't know why, but I was like, why is she trying to chat? I didn't say her name. What's crazy is this is going to be kind of a tie-in into the actual story. But yesterday it was confirmed in the sports world that Mike Tyson, that's me, Mike Tyson, and Evander Holyfield are going to have a rematch. Tyson versus Holyfield 3 is happening. Hours after Holyfield's camp claimed Mike Tyson and his team wanted too much money from a potential fight, the sides came to a resolution. Tuesday evening, Tyson confirmed that the fight's going to take place May 29th. It will be at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The last time these two fought, that was the infamous bite fight where Holyfield bested Tyson in both bouts. And Mike Tyson came out and said, I just want to know everybody that the fight is on with me and Holyfield. Holyfield's a humble man, and I know that he's the man of God, but I'm God's man. Listen, I'm going to be successful in May 29th. It's me and Holyfield. Holyfield's manager said that they will be seeking a reported $25 million payday. Here we go again. It's sports. They're going back to two big names. I don't know about this. Mike Tyson could still go, though.
Yeah.
Dude still rips.
He's fit.
I don't know about Holyfield, but I'm not a big boxing guy, but is this something you might watch?
I'd check it out, just if nothing more for the novelty of it, seeing two guys who are in their, late 50s at this point going at it and hoping for a knockout. Maybe one might even get the other ear being bit off. Who knows?
I'm gonna go for your other ear. And that ties into one of the story I was going to get to, but we're out of time. So I will just basically say Jamie Foxx's Mike Tyson movie that he was working on is going to be a limited series instead. I'll talk more about that another day because it is time to roll on to the birthdays. Let's roll it.
It's my birthday!
This British actress first attracted attention for her role in Bend It Like Beckham. She was a fill-in for Natalie Portman in The Phantom Menace. She gained further fame for her roles as Elizabeth Swann in Pirates of the Caribbean films. Keira Knightley is 35. Steven Tyler PJs. You thought I was going to say Pauly Shore, but nope, it's Steven Tyler's birthday. He's 72. He's the lead singer of Aerosmith, if you didn't know. No shirt, no shoes, no problems, and no tour this summer won't stop this country star from making some more awesome rum. Kenny Chesney is 52. He actually makes, I think it's, I shouldn't even try to plug his rum, but because I don't know what it is. It's like something Bay rum. It's very good.
Okay.
So good, I don't know the name of it. Way to go, San Filippo. Way to go. All-Pro linebacker who was drafted second by the Denver Broncos in 2011. He quickly emerged as the NFL's most dominant defensive player with 30 sacks in his first two seasons. He was named the MVP of Super Bowl 50, and he's coming back. Mr. Von Miller is 31 today. Happy birthday, Von. Just the other day, it was Peyton's Today it's Bonds. Go Broncos. Longtime actress whose credits include Knocked Up, 17 Again, Funny People, Vacation, Big Daddy, and the 40-Year-Old Virgin. She's married to Judd Apatow and appears in most of his films. Leslie Mann is 47. Martin Short, classic Saturday Night Live comic, is 71. Hottie, one of my favorite Playboy playmates of all time. She's the 2007 Playmate of the Year. Sarah Jean Underwood is 36. She used to, I don't know what she's up to nowadays. And California actress who appeared in Road Trip, Butterfly Effect, Just Friends, and Rat Race. She also played Eve in Crank and Crank High Voltage. Amy Smart is 44. That is your celebrity birthdays for Friday, March 26th. A happy birthday to you.
And folks, that does do it for the entertainment news. When we come back, it is time for good news, everyone.
That's good.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopRex.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool, and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed, this is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show, and we are all over social media with many of you watching us as we speak on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Now, if you want to get a hold of me on social, you can. Head over to facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Christian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R. or on Instagram and Twitter at Phoenix Media Radio. Tony is available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO.94, or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now, being that it's Friday, and as we like to do on Fridays, take you into the weekend on an up note, because there is so much hate, there is so much negativity, and especially recently, there is so much bad news out in the world that we like to turn the tables a little bit with something we like to call
Good news, everyone.
So I'll go ahead and kick things off. After watching his then 2-year-old toddler plop herself onto a printer in his and his wife Amy's bedroom each morning in 2017, David Mawhinney, founder of Franklin and Emily, had an idea for a more comfortable solution. I decided to build her a little chair just so that she'd have something to sit on, says the former professional chef. When friends asked where he bought the chair, Mawhinney, 44, knew he was onto something. At that point, Mawhinney, a chef for 12 years, was ready to pivot. I didn't see myself owning a restaurant and kind of wanted a change, he explains. That's when he switched careers to furniture design. Today, Franklin and Emily creates children's furniture with sustainability in mind. Here's a breakdown of how Mawhinney's startup is not only surviving, but thriving during the pandemic. Mawhinney found several gaps in the market. People wanted to get rid of the disposable furniture in their homes, he says. They also wanted great materials, a sustainable design, and a lifetime of value, something that wasn't available. Many parents buy those plastic chairs that eventually break. Like in his own abode, Mawhinney discovered that people wanted furniture that looked good, fit their home's aesthetic, and was gender neutral. There are a lot of people out there with that same mentality, and that's the market we're trying to crack, he says. Aside from piquing the interest of dinner guests noticing a Franklin and Emily prototype at the Mawhinney home, we started giving away the desk set to friends with kids in the age groups that we were looking for, says Mawhinney. Their kids were in the pre-K to 9-year-old age group, so we got constant feedback to make our products better. The first piece to sell was the chair, which comes in woods like walnut and Baltic birch. Next up, a 2-seater sofa that works well in a spare corner of a children's room and suits his children just fine. We wanted our pieces to be able to go together and play, says Mawhinney, just like kids do. Much of the product line, which the company calls clean and functional design and quality craftsmanship, was inspired by Mawhinney's own children. When his son needed a bit more height to properly see while brushing his teeth, he created a step stool. He also designed a leather lounger. Franklin and Emily's collection includes a toddler tower, desk and chair set, and more, which range from about $60 to $660. Making sure their supply chain remained intact was a top priority at the beginning of the pandemic. We need the raw materials to get to the manufacturing plants that we use, Mawhinney says. Everything from the lumber to leather to custom boxes for shipping was a challenge to keep in stock on a regular basis. Plus, labor at these facilities was sometimes down because of COVID-19 related illnesses or restrictions around space requirements and social distancing, he says. Luckily, both the company's office equipment fabricator and custom cushion manufacturer were able to ramp up and manufacture PPE and surgical masks, Mawhinney says. They were deemed essential services and allowed to remain open. Pre-pandemic, sales were pretty flat, maybe 5 to 10 a week, Mawhinney says. Once COVID-19 hit, parents started investing in the type of furniture their kids used at home. At the peak of the pandemic, the company had 85 plus orders in a week. By then, it was working more closely with its exclusive online partner, The Tot, to effectively market their pieces to parents seeking more permanent options. They also had to get a larger studio and hire different people to fulfill production needs. These days, the company employs 10 people, some of whom hail from New York City hospitality industry. Mawhinney says it's a different hat to wear, but it's still the same standards, finesse, and attention to detail. And it's great to see and hear about a company that survived through this pandemic, where so many companies are falling victim to just the restrictions that are placed on them, are going out of business. Here's somebody who, as Tony so aptly said, pivot. He pivoted and made something of it and is thriving and doing better than ever, considering the circumstances in the world. And I'd certainly say that qualifies as
good news, everyone.
Isn't that funny? You hear the word pivot and you always think Ross. Always. Like you always think of the couch. Always. Yep. Well, my story has nothing to do with pivoting or Ross. At least I don't think the word pivot's in there. I didn't pre-read it. So it could be, but I doubt it. But this one's really cool. This one we go, many people from close friendships with their coworkers. They form a lot of close friendships with their coworkers is what I should say. But one Chick-fil-A employee had such a tight bond with her coworker that she gave her a car. Haley Bridges, 17, of Appleton, Wisconsin, knew her friend and fellow Chick-fil-A employee Hoki Tanguchi, 19, was commuting to work in the Wisconsin winter by bicycle. So when she learned she had won a car at a company Christmas party raffle in December, she knew exactly who she wanted to gift it to. First, that's just awesome to get a car, right?
Right.
I started working at Chick-fil-A in late August, Bridges told Today, explaining that the friend who goes to school referred her to the job. I love working here. Not only are the people that work here amazing, but it has taught me so many new things. I also look forward to going to work. I get to see my second family. She said that she taught her coworkers to help one another, even when with matters not related to the job. She and Tanguchi, who is from the Kauai neighborhood of Honolulu, became fast friends in September, and they hung out outside of work all the time. What we do most of the time is chill at whoever's house we choose to go to. We are very spontaneous, as well as our little close group of friends we have. It was at a Chick-fil-A Christmas party where their friendship went to the next level. Bridges said the raffle is the main event of their annual Christmas party, and there was a rumor that there would be a car as the grand prize. Everyone would get raffle tickets, and how many hours you work determines how many you get. I received 5 tickets. The night of the party, the friends arrived at the Grand Meridian, a banquet hall in Appleton, to see there was, in fact, being a car raffled off. Bridges said her close friend group has always been willing to help Tanguchi, who they call Hoku, and decide that if any of them won, they would give her the car. The car was the only raffle where we couldn't pool our tickets, 1 ticket per person. Our friend group and some other friends decided to all put one in for her in hopes of winning. We were all very nervous that somebody else would get chosen, but we kept our hopes up. When Bridges heard her name called as the winner of a car, she said the moment was surreal. Once my name was called, one of the bosses, Hoku, and I looked at each other, and this is when she started to cry. I've never seen her emotional side much. She's a very happy person and very funny and goofy as well. We looked at each other, and I started to cry as well. Time seemed to stop as the friends realized what had just happened. My heart felt as if it was racing, and we both stood up and ran to each other. Everyone in the room felt like they were gone. It felt as if it was just us two in the moment. We hugged each other hard and cried so much. Everyone else was either crying or clapping. We all had this big group hug with everyone near us, and it felt so unreal experiencing this. The fact that Bridges had been the one win for the car meant everything to Tanguchi. Hoku told me that if anyone else in the group wanted for her, it would be amazing, but not the same. It's crazy knowing that I was able to give my best friend a car. Bridges, who already had a car, has been met with another act of kindness following her generosity. My aunt held a fundraiser to get it completely paid off. I was paying monthly for the car, and it took a chunk of my paycheck. And while Bridges said her mom was slightly upset that she gave away such a huge gift, she said she has no regrets about the decision. No one deserves it more than Hoku. Since receiving the car, Tanguchi's life has changed for the better. At the same time she received the car, she got approved to get an apartment which is located closer to Chick-fil-A. It's crazy seeing her car parked in the parking lot, and I'm just glad she has a reliable ride to work and the grocery store as well. Bridges and her friend have gone for many rides together in Tanguchi's new car. Their favorite destination? Chick-fil-A drive-thru. Just really awesome that, someone could be selfless like that and just, if we all win this car, this is who gets it. This is the person that struggles, needs it the most. We're all good with what we had. And the fact that her aunt stepped up knowing that she'd had to pay the taxes on that car, because we all know that winning stuff, you don't really win it. You do got to pay up. There's always a price, right?
It's never free.
Price is right. You win a car, you better have some taxes set aside because you're paying the taxes on that car. So the fact that they had a fundraiser to pay that off, and that way Tanguchi was able to get the car, I think that's cool. It's a really cool story. And, even though I am craving In-N-Out Burger and I can't wait to get that when I get off the plane, that Chick-fil-A sounds pretty damn good too.
It certainly does. It certainly does. And that's why we do this feature every week. We love these awe-inspiring stories. We love selfless acts like that, and which is why we call it
Good News, everyone.
That's fantastic news.
So good. Well, folks, that does do it for Good News, everyone. When we come back, we've got a segment called Mind Blown. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks, to the fourth and final segment of the first hour of this episode of the Kristian Fenix radio show. But do not fret, there is still plenty ahead with our second hour, including our call-in topic of a band that you missed seeing live. Not because they were way before you were alive. You had the opportunity, but for some reason, you didn't take it, and now you've missed out. So we'll be talking about that in the next hour. But if you missed a portion of this show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think and tell your friends, because sharing is caring. Now, before we get into the segment Mind Blown, Tony wanted to let people know about a little missing piece of memorabilia behind him.
Yeah, so if you guys are wondering, if you go right about here, if you've ever paid attention, there's a shelf that was right there, and it had Spider-Man, Venom, and this Venom memorabilia sitting there. During the commercial break, I just hear this. It freaked me out, and that thing came crashing down on top of the wood back there. So if you're wondering why that all changed, there you go. That just happened on the break.
And the part of the reason I bring it up is because it fits in so well with our very first mind-blown epiphany for this segment. Basically, these are stories or epiphanies that people have had that really sort of blew other people's minds. Could be everything from the existential to something that is a fact. But let's go ahead and start off with our very first mind-blown epiphany. Apparently, Imagine Dragons was hired to write demo tracks for Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, also known as the Spider-Man musical on Broadway, in order to get people to invest in it and have enough money to hire someone more famous to write the musical. Then the people who hired them thought, hey, these are actually good songs. We should make a CD of them and sell them. So Imagine Dragons changed the words a little so they weren't about Spider-Man and became famous. Radioactive was originally about the radioactive spider that bit Spider-Man. I had
Really?
Yeah.
I neither. That was one of their pop. That was a huge song.
It was a huge song, and you can't think of Imagine Dragons without thinking about that particular song. It's about Spider-Man.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know.
known?
Did you know Louis Diamond Phillips was in that music video? They had Richie Valens.
Was he really? I've never seen the music video.
Yep.
Well, let's keep moving on. We're talking about mind-blowing epiphanies. I've won sayings all the time. Well, this person had just that same thought. It says, teenage girls saying, I can't even, is basically the same as old ladies saying, well, I never. Interesting.
I can see that. That does make sense.
Different generations saying essentially the same thing in different ways. Who would have thought?
I've never.
I can't even right now, Tone. I can't even.
Oh my God. I can't even because that shelf scared me. I think I might have farted and it scared me. Ow! Can't even with you.
All right, let's move on with mind-blowing epiphanies. This one, again, makes you wonder how high this person was, but they said, ice skating is like walking in cursive. It's a good way to think about it.
It really is. I mean, you don't ever go in a straight line. You're always curving around. And there you go.
Yeah. Yesterday's show on one of our stereo app calls, we were even talking about cursive and how outdated it is. But you know what? This makes sense, at least to some degree.
That dude was really happy about talking cursive, too.
I know.
I kind of pictured comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Totally.
Worst cursive ever. It's a pretty crappy impersonation.
Let's keep moving on. Mind-blown epiphanies. This one, again, think about how this makes sense and how somebody came up with this. The word firefly is the opposite of waterfall.
I never thought of that.
Because firefly, waterfall. Water's the opposite of fire. Fall is the opposite of fly. People have too much time on my hands. That's all I got to say.
Yikes. Firefly, let your water fall.
Let's keep moving on. Mind-blowing epiphanies. This user says, do you ever learn a new fact and it F's you over really badly, even though it has no effect on your life, but it still feels like your whole life was a lie anyway? Hey, did you know barcode scanners scan the white space in between and not the actual black bars? I had no idea.
I always thought it was the black bars.
I thought so too. And, there are different thicknesses and widths and heights and things along those lines. I didn't realize it was the white space in between.
Weird.
I know. It's why we do this segment. Just blowing your mind left and right.
It really is.
Let's keep rolling on. Mind-blowing epiphanies. Toasty! All right. This one, again, how do people figure this out? So, the lyrics, "Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn king," and "I know when that hotling bling that can only mean one thing have the same number of syllables." Okay.
That one was, "Hark the magic dragon, he rode the Viking king." Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing for you on that one, bro.
Yeah. People with just far too much time on their hands to figure all this stuff out.
You know what? If that was like a joke or anything. That's all. No mind blown because I don't even know anything about that. So.
All right, moving on, talking mind-blown epiphanies. Tony, if I say the name Ina Garten to you, does that mean anything?
No.
All right. Well, friendly reminder that Ina Garten, the host of Barefoot Contessa on Food Network, majored in economics and was in charge of writing the budget for the U.S.'s nuclear program and drafted policy memos regarding construction of nuclear centrifuges under U.S. Presidents Ford and Carter. She also fundraises for Planned Parenthood and supports gay marriage. So this woman can budget, plan nuclear policy, cook a mean meal, and multitask for lack of basically she's a busy lady.
Bazinga. She's available, kids. Swipe right.
All right. Moving on with mind-blowing epiphanies. Here's one we've talked about on the show before, but it always blows my mind a little bit. It says, you know what's creepy about Humpty Dumpty? They never said he was an egg. Of course, when you think about Humpty Dumpty, you automatically picture an egg cracked up below a wall. Never, ever was referred to as an egg until later on when he was illustrated that way.
Yeah, when you say Humpty, I think of the guy with the big schnoz, and he used to say, "My name's Humpty," and he did the dance because it was your chance to do the hump. Yeah, that's what I think about when you say it. Just do me, baby.
In my epiphanies. All right. This one, again, gets you thinking. The guy on the radio just said gas prices aren't so bad if you consider you're really buying liquid explosive dinosaurs. And my perspective on life has been changed forever.
Wow. Yeah, runs on Velociraptor blood, baby.
Exactly.
That's why it roars.
That does it for the first hour of our show. We're headed into our longer break. Take a potty break, join us back, and we will get into our call-in topic of bands you miss seeing live. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
7.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go! Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know!
I know!
You don't! Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No! Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this! To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
No idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. The following is a production of Phoenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, folks, to the second hour of this episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Friday, March 26th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, are you ready for the fastest hour of the day?
I sure am. It always goes by quick, but that first hour went by quick. I just can't wait to get on that plane. Got some In-N-Out Burger calling my name here in just a couple hours. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing you. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Yep, get ready to head into the weekend. It should be a fun one. But, we still have an hour of show left for you guys to enjoy. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, this is the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners, on our topic of the day, which is why we give it 24 hours in advance for you to call on the Fenix Line at 855-Fenix Radio. Of course, you can chime in live on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. And we've got the stereo app where you can always join us and chat live when we open that up at stereo.com/Fenix Media. Today's topic is a band that you missed seeing live. And again, we're not talking about, Tony and I, who are huge Glenn Miller Band fans, that he was well before our time and he's dead now and we don't get the opportunity. No, we're talking about bands that you've had the opportunity to see. And either you skipped it, you missed out, something happened that caused you not to see them, and now you don't have that opportunity again. So to start out with Tony's, this is a great example of, maybe you'll be able to see some iteration of them, but you won't be able to see them in their original lineup or the way that you intended to see them. I'm going to play a quick snippet, and then he can explain his selection.
Hey! So tomorrow, right now, come on, it's everything. Right now, get your magic moment, do it right here and now. It means everything.
Yep, Van Halen. Of course, that's the Van Hager version of Van Halen, which I know is my favorite iteration, but explain to people why you've got don't have the opportunity to see them live anymore.
Yeah. So obviously Eddie passed away back in October, I believe. So you don't have Eddie Van Halen. He ain't around anymore. I had the opportunity to see Van Hagar back in 2004 at the Pepsi Center when we first moved here in Colorado. And at the time, tickets were like $175 for nosebleed, and I couldn't justify it with my then fiance, who would go on to be my wife. But because we were buying a house and stuff like that, and dropping $175. Well, when you want to go as a couple, and she wasn't going to go because she's like, I'm not spending that kind of money. And then of course you go through that. We don't really have the money to do that, so it was a lot of money at the time. So I was like, nah, I'll catch him next time around. Opportunity never came because that was the final tour you had with Michael Anthony, Sammy Hagar, and the Van Halen brothers. That was it. They never toured again. That was the final tour of that. Fast forward years and years later, David Lee, Gary Cherone came into the band, and then David Lee Roth, and there was just always this back and forth. Well, I always said, okay, well, Van Halen comes, even if it's with David Lee Roth, who I love the first Van Halen album. It is classic. I do like some early I like some David Lee Roth ones. He's not overall my favorite. He's kind of a pompous asshole, if I'm being honest. I just don't know about him, but I do love the Van Halen. That's the Van Halen I grew up on. I just prefer Hagar more. They came to Red Rocks on the they released that album in 2012, A Different Kind of Truth. And there was no Michael Anthony. It's now, Wolfgang Van Halen, Eddie's son on the bass. So it's not the original lineup, but it's pretty damn close. Well, they played at Red Rocks, but the night I thought about going, it was a misty, cold, like drizzly rain. It was super cold. Tickets were $200+. And I was just like, I don't want to spend the money on it. That again, it was cold. I was tired, from work, and I thought about going up to that moment. And I was like, nah, I know they don't come around much, but next time I'll see them. And unfortunately, like the song says, right now, there's no tomorrow. You just don't know. And unfortunately, never got to see, Van Halen ever.
Yep.
But I did get a chance to see Sammy with Michael Anthony with The Circle. So I have seen them twice, and they've played the Van Hagar stuff, but it's still not the same because it's missing Alex on drums and it's missing Eddie on guitar. So
exactly.
Unfortunately, never got to see it as much as I had the opportunities. I had two. In the 17 years I've lived here, I had two opportunities and I didn't take either.
So sad. And then, of course, for Eddie Van Halen, there is no tomorrow at this point. So, that would have been a great lineup to see. But, folks, that's what we're talking about is bands that you never got to see live because of whatever the reason. Maybe you had the opportunity, but that opportunity has passed. We're about to open up the phones to you guys, so go ahead and chime in and let us know what your pick is. When we come back, it is mostly about you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Behold my process. Ooh, yeah, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box, full of exclusive Loot Crate surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude! Cowabunga!
To the Loot Gaming video game box.
Woohoo! Yee-hoo!
What's with kids today, huh?
Wowzers! With crates starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors.
To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/Loot Crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIX media.us/Loot Crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a Loot Crate, dig it?
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show, and we are smack dab in the middle of the interactive portion of our show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners and watchers, on our topic of the day. You can always chime in on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio, or you can chat with us live on the Stereo app at stereo.com/Fenix Media. What we're talking about today is bands you missed seeing live. Again, these are bands that you may have had the opportunity to see live, but you missed out on that opportunity, and there is no going back. For me, there might be a chance to go back, but not in the way that you would want to see them. Might as well play it, and then I'll go ahead and give you the reasoning behind it.
We've been dancing with Mr. Brownstone. He's been knocking. He won't leave me alone. No. He won't leave me alone.
Yes, Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, Slash, Duff McKagan, Izzy Stradlin. The drummers were a little bit of a revolving door, but they
Adler and Sorum.
Matt Sorum and Steve Adler. But they broke up abruptly in November of 1991, and they were a band that I loved at the time. And my parents had a rule that I couldn't go see a concert until I was 11. Well, my birthday is in December. I would have turned 11 that year, and they broke up basically a month before I would have turned that age. After that, there were different iterations of Guns N' Roses with Buckethead. They did the Spaghetti Incident, which was terrible. Recently, they have reformed to some degree, but Axl Rose isn't the same. He doesn't have those same pipes. He looks like a puffy version of himself. There may still be the opportunity, but not in the way that I would love to have seen them. So that was what would have been my pick for a band that I missed seeing live.
Yeah, it's great that he has Slash back, because that was the big missing piece when you didn't have Slash. But I saw them in 2017, and they were okay. I mean, they played a lot of music, which was good, so they didn't skimp on that. But you're right, he just not quite the same. And that was also the one where he was injured. Had sat on the crown the whole time, so he just sat the whole time. So that's my one and only.
That's
the throne. Sorry,
throne.
Throne. Yeah, like a king's throne. He sat there with his broken ankle. I mean, kudos he didn't cancel the tour, but it was it wasn't like what we grew up with, for sure.
Right. And then speaking of Tony and I, this subject stems from a shared experience that we had.
Yeah.
That so sad, even a little angry that we missed this band.
Walk. What did you say? Walk. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Yes.
No way, punk.
Yeah, that's what they were telling us when we got tickets to see them. But Tony, I'll let you explain the story just a little bit if you want to get to it briefly.
Yeah, brief one, man. Back in the day, you used to have to go to Bass Ticket Outlets, which was at Scolari's. You had to line up. That was the only Ticket Master in Carson City. That, and I think JJ's Ear Candy, Video Madness. But we let our buddy Dale, he was like, I'll go pick up the tickets. So we give Dale money, and we were going to go to Ozfest 2000. So we were juniors. No, we were seniors in high school. And we gave Dale our money to go get these tickets. And we were like, yeah, dude, this is going to be good. It was Ozzy Osbourne, Pantera, Godsmack, Static X, Disturbed, POD, among many bands. Yeah, new metal. But Pantera was the cream of the crop. Reinventing the Steel had just come out. We were so stoked because we were really just going for Pantera.
Right.
Gets the tickets, and then we find out he bought tickets for the San Francisco show and we were only equipped with our crappy vehicles at the time to go to, the Sacramento show. And plus, being high school kids, it's not like we could really just go to San Francisco without parents' permission. I mean, getting them to let you go to Sacramento alone was a little tough. So
yeah, Sacramento's an hour and a half drive. San Francisco's about 3 hours, just to give you an distance.
So long story short, the day before the show, Dale decides to go get married. He has our tickets. We can't get a hold of him. And we couldn't. It's not like we finally got the okay to go to this show in San Francisco and all that. Couldn't get a hold of him. And this is before cell phones and stuff. I think pagers were a thing, but none of us were drug dealers, so no one had pagers. So we didn't get to go to Flippin' Pantera, man. Didn't get to go. Still a little pissed. And then you and I have both seen him as, down Damage Plan. That Damage Plan being Vinny and Dime's band, and down being Rex and Phil's, but it's not the same. And even if Pantera came back today, you'd be screwed because Vinny and Dime have passed. So you never will see that band. And that was the one opportunity, the one shot that I've ever had in my life to see him.
And that's all she wrote, Yeah, unfortunately, that is something that we will never get to do. Now, Tony, I know you reached out to some of our usuals and some of our unusuals, for lack of a better term. But what was their response to bands they never got to see?
Jamie chimed in and she let us know that, again, hope we're having a good show. The Riot Fest, which was this festival in Chicago back in September of 2018, had the original Misfits lineup, Rob Zombie, Death Cab for Cutie, Deftones, just a ton of bands. So it's a 2-day festival. Well, she lived in Illinois at the time, and her boyfriend were supposed to go. Well, they got into a fight, and she said, well, I'll just give away my ticket. And she didn't want to go by herself at the time because they were fighting. So they sold the tickets, and she regrets it because she should have just found a friend and went. But at the time, the boyfriend and the emotions weighed heavy, so unfortunately she didn't get to go. And that's the thing, you got like the original lineup of the Misfits. I think that was the only run they did with that, and they haven't done it since. Yeah.
And you can see them separately from Glenn Danzig. You can see Glenn Danzig on his own, but since then, never together.
Never. And then our buddy Brian Swanson chimed in. He doesn't ever chime, but that's the Blacktop Devil. You can follow him on YouTube, Blacktop Devil. Shameless plug. He had a chance to see Alice in Chains with Lane Staley, and he missed the opportunity. He had something that came up, and he didn't go see him. And then Lane died not too long after. So had a chance to see the original Alice in Chains, which that would have been awesome.
Well, it goes back to, life is short. If you have the opportunity, take it. If it's going to cost you a few extra bucks, if, the ticket's $150 and it's going to take you a little while to scrounge that money back up, take it. Go for it.
Yeah, I would do it. It's definitely, you got to take the shot. For Mike and Lacey, Mike's was Motorhead. That's one he always regrets, and I agree. We actually had a chance to see Motorhead open for Volbeat on 2 different occasions. It was the Volbeat Megadeth show, and Lemmy got sick, so he didn't play. And there was another time with Volbeat they were supposed to play, and they had to cancel. So I've had a few opportunities to see him, and that didn't happen. Now Lemmy passed, so I could definitely see that for Mike being a bummer. And then Lacey. Sorry.
I had a chance to see Motorhead. I think they played for one of the K-Rock shows, which was totally out of the realm of what they do. But Lemmy in all of his glory with his little Cocoa Puffs on his face. But not a huge Motorhead fan, but they are such an iconic band that it was great to see them.
Yeah. Motorhead. And Lacey chimed in and said she doesn't really have one in particular, but she did have a chance to see Michael Jackson back in the day, and she didn't go. But that would have been probably one that would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
Like I admire early Michael Jackson music as a human being and stuff. He definitely rubbed me the wrong way, and just it was creepy. And I mean, that's all media and stuff. He was never proven guilty of all of that, but
right.
And then he ended up, all that controversy and all that stuff. But Hell of a musician, though.
Yeah,
I
and
respect that portion of it.
Such an icon that even if his music isn't your cup of tea, just to see them live, to say that you've seen them live, would have been, just rewarding in its own right, regardless of the rumors and what had been alleged about him. But sometimes you have to separate the music from the artist. With him, it's a little easier to do than some other people. So.
But yeah, so there's some good interaction today, guys. So thank you very much for taking the time. Oh, Stacy, our friend Stacy chimed in. BB King. She had a chance to see BB King, didn't go for whatever reason, and the opportunity is a loss. So,
so I think the moral of the story is take the opportunity. If you have it,
swing for the fence, baby. Swing.
Exactly. Well, folks, we're basically out of time, so we don't even have time to get to the stereo app today, which is sad, but we love the interaction.
I know. I love the interaction. Hey, this is twice this week, you guys. The friends have had the participation, so kudos to you. I think that was on Tuesday and here on Friday, so always good.
I'm not sad at all.
Either. I do like the app though, man. 3 days ago was the Nippleback guy.
Exactly.
He's my favorite radio dude this week.
Well, folks, we are headed in the break. When we come back, the G-Man is joining, me.
G-Money!
March Madness, Sweet 16 preview. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. And, we're going to get right into it because we have a lot to cover. For those of you watching and listening, while we've lost Tony to the Sherwood Forest, he had to take a business call there. You may recognize the face and the voice that you will be hearing. Yes, we're talking G-Man. He is joining us for another round of G-Man's matchups. And as we did last Friday, we are talking about the NCAA March Madness. And this go around, we're talking the Sweet 16. Now, G-Man, when we last left you, you were headed over to the pepper mill. You were going to hunker down for a few days. How did the first 2 rounds treat you?
Well, I'm no different than most people. We were a little taken back the first couple days because we're used to kind of coming out the chutes pretty hot and then being able to play with the house money, so to speak. And long story short, after the Thursday round, I was like just a little bit up, less than $50. And the first day of 64, there was a couple of spots. I always mention the in play, and I was looking early on for these big number 1 teams to be maybe down a little bit early. And then most of the time they come back and win, but you get them at a better number. So Tennessee was my first major blow. They were down fairly early. I think after about 5 minutes or so, they were down by 9. I banged them for at that point I was up a little bit over $200, from the prior games. And then I unloaded $250 on Tennessee to come back and just win the game. They started out with a -8.5 line, and the money line was it was just way up there, prohibitive favorite. So I got them at -125. So that's why I dumped $250, saying, "Hey, this is going to be an easy 200," and it didn't work out.
Oh.
And then every subsequent bet that I had over $100, I was quickly, I think, 0-3. So that was time to just lick the wounds. And, we recalibrated. I tell you what, I'm a Michigan fan, and I got paid back for betting on Ohio State, as a Michigan fan.
Oh, that must hurt.
Yeah. I got a double whammy, on that. I not only bet on them, but the bet didn't come through. And that was one of the major upsides. I think the Ohio State, they said that one game there busted. I mean, it was like 5 point something million brackets, just that one game. And they have a Sweet 16 challenge now because there's no brackets that are undefeated.
Exactly.
So it was crazy. Let's just put it that way. I think one statistic that I heard is 20. There's 48 games, and 20 underdogs won outright. We're not talking covering the spread. They won outright, 20 out of 48. So it was, I tell you what, we reacclimated. The money that we lost the first couple of days, we put together a 2-teamer. We said, let's go with the flow. And so we put together kind of a 2-team parlay with Syracuse, plus 160, I think they were at. And then we actually pulled the trigger on Oral Roberts, the Abigail Christian upset. And it was like plus 310. And if you watch that, I mean, it was pretty exciting. They were kind of hanging in there. And then at the most important part, the last part of the game, they came in and it was another number 15 versus 2, upset. The other one being against Texas, earlier, which also cost me money, So, but it was fun. I normally do pretty well, but I not only got my money back, I came back a little bit less than 200. When I think the first day I had like 400 in the online account, and just 400 in my wallet. And I didn't have to go to the ATM at all. I was kind of able to ride the thing out, and we just had a blast, as we always do. It's pretty epic stuff.
Yeah, and anytime you can walk out with more money than you walked in with, it's a win. Even if it's $200, it's still $200. Now, in the second round, there were a couple matches that blew my mind. You mentioned Oral Roberts. They upset number 7 Florida. Oregon State upset number 4 Oklahoma State. Any other games that really just sort of blew your mind?
I guess I think the thing that really surprised me the most was the success of the Pac-12.
Yes.
And those teams, of course, were a big part of the overall breadth of the games that blew our minds, so to speak. I don't think there's any doubt about that. We're talking about it, and I think we fell victim, even though we live over here, we fell victim to the East Coast bias, that I think is a real thing. They, of course, are always talking about, the things on the East Coast because of the time difference. A lot of people don't get the information, and truthfully, I think that a lot of the guys that cover the West Coast, from ESPN and all the other sportscasters and stuff like that, on the West Coast, I mean, they're probably, following the Lakers and the Clippers and, the professional teams and stuff like that. And I don't think that the college kids get very much coverage, even from the guys that are covering the West Coast. So in a roundabout way, that's the biggest surprise, I think, is the collection of the Pac-12 teams. And fortunately, the 4-teamer that I hit on the last day on Monday, we had Florida State, and I called the Colorado Florida State game as being the first Pac-12 loss, and it turned out that way. Fortunate for us.
And that's a great segue into the Sweet 16, which is coming up this weekend. There's 4 games Saturday, 4 games Sunday. Out of the 16 teams left, 4 of those are Pac-12 teams, just to give you an idea of, how good they're doing. The matchups: Oregon State versus Loyola, Illinois; Villanova versus Baylor; Oral Roberts versus Arkansas; Syracuse versus Houston; Creighton versus Gonzaga; UCLA versus Alabama; Florida State versus Michigan; and Oregon versus my USC Trojans. With a couple minutes, we got about 4 minutes left. Which of those do you see as the big betting games? Which of those games are you going to put your money on, not only before tip-off, but you're going to be watching throughout, so that way you can make adjustments on the fly?
That would be all of them.
Fair enough.
I will be betting on all of them because at this point, this is when, unlike the first 2 rounds, you have games going on at the same time, and that's why, getting your bets in early, making sure that you're hooked up with the end players is super important. But now they're all spread out, so I'll be having a little bit of action in that first game. And, the method is to, continue rolling the casino profits that you hopefully have, over into the other bets. And, so that being said, I'll run down real quick, initially, of course, Oregon State against Loyola. What a great matchup. That should be fun. And Oregon State, they just, they surprised both times. Loyola obviously has the power of God behind them, with sister, I can't remember her last name, but she's like 103 years old.
Right.
So there's no doubt Loyola is probably going to be the sentimental favorite. But I tell you what, if Oregon State, if they keep shooting their threes the way that they have the first 2 games, there may be a little bit of an upset there in Loyola, and that one's 7 points, and that's hard to lay that many points, in this situation when they're both, underdogs, up to this point, they were both underdogs. Villanova, Baylor, I think this is where the wheels come off, for Villanova. I actually, in my bracket, had them being upset, before, this. And, for them to get past the number 1 seed Baylor, would be, again, much what's been happening in the first 2 rounds. That would be considered a major upset. Yep. Oral Roberts, I think it stops for them, against Arkansas. That is one that is possibly a blowout. They're -11. Again, that's probably one that I'll in play. Syracuse and Houston, I've been on Syracuse from the get-go. That 2-3 zone defense, Jimmy Boeheim, it's not his first rodeo. Houston is much of a run team, very, very fast paced, and that if that zone slows them down, if they are going to be scoring in the 60s, that's right where Syracuse wants them. Maybe even sneaking into the 70s. But if they're over 75 points, at that point that's going to be hard for Syracuse to keep up unless they are just killing it, from the 3-point range.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sunday. Go ahead.
Real quick rundown Sunday. We've got about a minute left, so
okay.
Give us just the quick recap for Sunday.
Okay, quickly, Creighton against Gonzaga. Gonzaga is again, they've been blowing people out, and I don't see anything with the way that Creighton's been playing that stops that. Florida State against Michigan. Michigan's my team, but again, this is money. I have Florida State in this one because of the injury, to the Michigan forward. UCLA against Alabama. Again, I think that Alabama is just too much, all around, for UCLA. If they aren't ahead, if UCLA isn't ahead in the first half, I think that it's going to be a long second half for them. And then finally, Oregon against USC. Hey, I'm going USC.
Yeah,
they are going to do it. I think. So that's the quick rundown. Put your money out there and let's see what happens.
Well, G-Man, we always appreciate it. We always wish we had more time just to talk more and more sports, but it should be a fun matchup. We're going to have you on next Friday for the Final Four. Unfortunately, we got to skip over the Elite Eight, but we're looking forward to having you. Folks, check out more of the G-Man on Facebook at facebook.com/The G-Man or his band Seedless Tendency. They're back to playing shows, so very exciting. As always, we appreciate you having you on, G-Man, and we will be back after this break.
Steve.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone.
I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. We made it to not only the final segment of the show, the final segment of the week on this Friday, but if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
Oh, I messed it up. We're just going to have to say yes because it didn't link.
Oh, no.
I had Marty McFly. I didn't have the Bluetooth, never. It's lately been not goofing up.
Bluetooth connected.
But apparently the Bluetooth connected, so I'm just going to give you this one. There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was Marty. Yes, but it was a stream of yeses nonetheless. It just, it's been doing that lately. It'll never actually disconnect. And I'm watching my screen. It's usually if the screen powers down and goes back up, it disconnects, but it never powered down. Oh, well.
The joys of technology, and of course it's a Friday, so
But we are saved. They did say yes. There's no state puff, and we could roll on through the weekend alive and well.
Exactly. We'll just brush it off, keep moving on, and while you guys are there at your podcast platform of preference, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think, and tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring. Hey, did you do that one guy's podcast last night?
No.
Yes, yesterday on the radio app, that guy, hey, you guys want to do a podcast with me?
No. Got plenty of my own to do.
Yeah, when you say that you're not very good at doing a podcast, I don't want to be on your podcast. Thanks.
That's all right. Well, folks, as we like to do, close out the show, drop a little knowledge on you, hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. All right, kicking things off. This day in 1484, William Caxton prints his translation of Aesop's Fables. I always mix up Aesop's with Hans Christian Andersen. If I remember correctly, Aesop was like the ugly duckling, whereas Hans Christian Andersen was Hansel and Gretel, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I feel
good. I remember Aesop's Fables, but if you asked me to start quoting it and stuff, I couldn't tell you. But I do recall learning about it.
Fair enough. Let's move on. This day in 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte captures Jaffa, Palestine. I wonder if his brother Joe was with him. And of course, he celebrated by going to Farrell's for his Piggly Wiggly.
Excellent!
Moving on, this day in 1812, an earthquake measuring 7.7 on the Richter scale destroys 90% of Caracas, Venezuela, and kills an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 people. That is massive casualties.
That was massive. I didn't know. I didn't know the Grimace was around back then. I mean, whoa. Everybody say, wow. Dude, that is insane. 7.7. Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And luckily, buildings these days are built with earthquakes in mind, so you won't get the same sort of casualties for that size of an earthquake.
Yeah. Well, and you never know. They always say the big one's near. Hopefully, it's still far, far away.
All right, moving on this day in 1820, future Mormon church leader Joseph Smith has his first vision in a wooded area of New York, according to Mormon scholars. My question is, if Joseph Smith has a vision in the woods, does he actually have it?
Well, he named it Wanda. Again, this goes the other day. He showed up in the history news, and this dude has the most boring name. I'm Joseph Smith, and today I had my first vision.
Yeah, we don't talk about religion much on this, but when you're talking about visions with gold plates and magic underwear, that goes right on par with all of the other crazy religions out there as well. Including
we're always out there.
Along those lines, this day in 1830, the Book of Mormon is published in Palmyra, New York. No, not the play by South Park creators Matt Parker and Trey Stone. No, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. The actual Book of Mormon.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, let's keep moving on. This day in 1937, Joe DiMaggio takes Ty Cobb's advice and replaces his 40-ounce bat with the 36-ounce one. Why that's significant on this day in history, I have no idea.
That's what probably turned it around for him. They probably said, if you went to a lighter bat, you'd probably get a better swing and you probably connect more. Maybe something along those lines.
Who knows? The fact that they were able to record that to this day is a little mind-blowing. But let's keep moving on. This day in 1940, The Fifth Column, a play by Ernest Hemingway and adapted by Benjamin Glazer, premieres in New York City, courtesy of the Theater Guild. Tony, what is your favorite Ernest Hemingway book?
Did he? No, that was Dickens, right? That did Great Expectations?
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't know Hemingway.
I don't know Hemingway. That was a fantastic book, a bestseller, still in the New York Times top 20.
Yeah, there you go, dude. I don't know. I was only going to use Great Expectations because of the movie way back when.
To be fair, I couldn't tell you a Hemingway book either.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know. I've heard of him, but I just don't know.
I know he was a lush. That's about it.
Whoa. Yeah, you got me. You want me to go on the old Google machine while you're reading history?
Nah. Let's keep moving on. This day in 1953, Dr. Jonas Salk announces that he has successfully tested a vaccine to prevent polio. Clinical trials begin in the next year. And of course, the picture that they always accompany with talking about polio are these people in these giant metal containers with just their heads sticking out. That would be terrifying and claustrophobic.
It would be. Hey, Hemingway, he wrote For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Ooh.
And A Farewell to Arms. Both great songs. But he wrote the books to him. And The Old Man in the Sea.
Did he?
I like the metal ones
before he died.
Yeah, I just saw For Whom the Bell Tolls. I'm like, I got to mention it now.
So. There you go. Moving on, this day in 1958, the 30th Academy Awards. The Bridge on the River Kwai wins Best Picture. Joanne Woodward, Alec Guinness win Best Actress and Actor, respectively. Bridge on the River Kwai, fantastic movie. If you like war movies, don't mind some older cinema, well worth checking out.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got for you. And now Guinness, that's Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yep.
Good job.
Different Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but good enough. That was the soundbite I had, so I didn't play
it. Let's keep moving on. This day in 1974. George Foreman TKO's Ken Norton in 2 for heavyweight boxing title in Caracas, Venezuela. Oddly enough, the site of that giant earthquake. I wonder if maybe that knockout resonated back through time, caused that earthquake. But I wonder which of his kids named George were there to witness it.
Yeah, down goes Norton. Norton is down.
Let's keep moving on. This day in 1982, Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder released the single Ebony and Ivory in the UK.
Hey, Stevie, did you see this new meme I have on my phone? What? What's a meme? What's a phone?
Do you ever see the SNL with Joe Piscopone and Eddie Murphy, where they do a parody of that, where it's like, you are black and I am white?
I do recall it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I do recall it now that you mention it.
Let's move on. This date in 1986, also in music history, and a band we were just talking about earlier in the show, Geffen Records signs Guns N' Roses.
Ooh, Geffen had some good stuff. They had Aerosmith as well in the 80s.
Yep. Moving on this day in 1990, Japanese filmmaker Akira Kirosawa wins the Academy Award for Lifetime Achievement. Having studied film at film school, we had to be intimately familiar with Kurosawa's work, and he created the offshoots of most plot details that we see in movies today, including The Seven Samurai, which was adapted into Magnificent Seven, which was adapted into a dozen other things. Great filmmaker.
Kurosawa.
Moving on this day in 1992, Mike Tyson is sentenced to 10 years for rape of Desiree Washington. Oof.
I thought that I raped the Robin Givens because I told that bitch that don't bitch better have my money, and then I was like, I'm gonna give you the Tysaroni because of spinal injury. I didn't know he. I didn't know he was. I didn't know he. Did he do 10 years?
I don't know if he did 10 years. Maybe he got out for good behavior, but that's what he was sentenced to.
Oh, I always thought it was Robin Givens he raped.
That may have been another charge, but who knows? Actually, a lot of people know. We just don't have the time to look it up. Let's move on. This day in 1999, a jury in Michigan finds Dr. Jack Kevorkian guilty of second-degree murder for administering a lethal injection to a terminally ill man. Fatality. Also known as Dr. Death.
I am Dr. Kevorkian. Jack, if you're lucky.
And then finally, before we head out for the day and the weekend, let's run down some of today's holidays, where we talk about the things that we like to celebrate. For instance, today is Legal Assistance Day. Okay. It is National Make Up Your Own Holiday Day. Sure.
Oh, In-N-Out Burger Day.
Yeah. It is National Nougat Day. For some reason, they put up a picture of Nutella, which is not the same thing.
No,
it's
Ted Nougat Day.
It is National Spinach Day, my favorite of the leafy greens. It is Purple Day, so if you're a Prince fan, you can rock your purple. It is Solitude Day, so spend some time by yourself. And it is No Homework Day. I've got no homework. Tony's got no homework. We've got no homework. So, folks, enjoy your Friday. We will see you all on Monday. Have a good
Monday. Peace. Double.